Hello and welcome to my video. I wanted to jump in and do a quick intro for this video. It is going to be a complete try on of my lash stash. So all of my mascaras that I own or have received in samples, I will apply the mascara early in the day and then wear it later in the day or at night before I take it off. I will let you know how it wore, if it held a curl, how the thickness was, length, and everything, and give you just an overall review. I wanted to redo the intro that I had for this one because this video took me almost a month to make because of all the mascaras that I had tried. And so I was looking back at the original intro that I had, and a lot has changed. I do take any critiques that are put into the comments into consideration, and one big thing that kind of stood out to me was how quickly I was talking, or rather how slow I was talking. So I've really tried to work on that to pick up my cadence and my manner of speaking, speed and everything to make the videos more watchable. And as I went back and I was watching the introduction, you will see it very soon when I do my first review. The way of speaking is very slow. I'm not very comfortable. And really, it was probably my third time ever talking into a camera. So bear with me, and you kind of see the growth over this whole process of how much more comfortable I get in front of the camera and just from A to B. So I thought it was very interesting as I've gone back and I've been editing to see where I kind of started, and really from one of the first times in front of a camera lens to where I am now. I am by no means perfect right now, but there has been a lot of improvement. So I thought that was really interesting to see. So I will have timestamps down below where you can see all the different mascaras and where the review for each is in the video, because this is going to be a long video. I review 13 mascaras and give a full from application, from opening of the tube, the brush, the initial application, and then finally how it wore throughout the day. So each mascara does get quite a thorough review. Therefore, with 13 of them, it's kind of a long video. But timestamps will be down below so that you can click around to see which mascaras you want to know about and then which ones you can skip over. Or if you just want to see how I progress through my comfort in front of a camera, watch the whole thing. So without further ado, let's go back to number one and you will see my very first mascara that I try, my holy grail, my HG, the Better Than Sex. So let's get started. First mascara I want to show is actually my holy grail, my absolute favorite, and that is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I'm going to get started by curling my lashes. To curl my lash, I use my curler along 3 places along the length, at the base, the middle, and then at the tip. So there we go, my lashes are curled. So when I'm applying, what I'll do is I'll just wiggle from base up and wiggle along the entire length of the lash. So I'll get in closer. You can see how that's applying evenly. I think the thickness of the brush really helps to coat the lash with mascara. Applied to the top, and I'll run the brush along the bottom. And now to the other eye. To really get some product on the tips of my lashes, what I'll do is I will go above my lash and just give it a little twirl. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. So a little flick, twirl on my upper lash. Since I'm doing a thorough mascara review, I'll go in with a second coat and I'll do a second dip on my brush. And not to let the bottom lashes be forgotten. There you can see the mascara is now applied. As I come in closer, and I will check in later to let you know how this mascara held up throughout the day. In the humidity, it is summer here in Florida, so We will see if the humidity affects the curl and if they start clumping, and I will just check in with you later. Hi, I wanted to check in with a quick update on the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I feel that it held up all day in the heat and humidity. The volume is still pretty good. The curl isn't quite perfect, but it's not as downward facing as my natural lashes are. Underneath there is a little bit of fallout. I don't know if you can see any of the flakes that are on my cheek, but there were a few flakes that I noticed with my up close mirror, but nothing that's making my eyes irritated. All in all, I think the mascara held up really well, and so it's still my favorite. I will be trying other mascaras over the next few days to see how they hold up and if maybe I will find my new favorite or if the BTS will still hold strong. Today I am going to review the Buxom. It is the Lash mascara, and like always I'm going to first curl my lashes. So now that my lashes are nice and curly, I'm going to apply the mascara. So as you can see, the brush or the wand has a nice curved, as they say, hourglass shape. It does have the plastic kind of silicone wand head that I'm not crazy about, but maybe this one will change my mind. As I apply, again, I just wiggle it from the base of my lashes and head up towards the tip. I think everybody has their signature mascara applying face. And I do my little twirl and flick at the tips to ensure my entire length of eyelash is coated. So there's the first eye, then onto the second eye. Now onto the second coat. So just from the immediate application, this is straightening my lashes from the initial curl I gave. I'm getting a mess on my lid. I can see my lashes are splaying and doing more of a fanned out look. You can see how instead of just curling up, it's starting to just kind of fan out. Not too bad, but not my favorite upon initial application. There you have it after 2 coats of mascara. I will wear this for the day and then check in with you on my impression for the Buxom Lash Mascara. I wanted to do a quick check-in on the Buxom Mascara. All in all, this is a pretty great formula. When I come in close, you can see maybe a few flecks of mascara on my cheeks, but really nothing major. My eyes are not irritated with my contacts and wearing the mascara all day. Also, you can see that there is still a slight curl, about the same amount of curl as when I applied the mascara. It fanned a little bit, but still held the curl. So I'd say that is actually a huge thumbs up. I still have some nicely fanned lashes, not much fallout. So I would actually put this about even with the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Uh-oh, I might have a new favorite. The only downside I wasn't crazy about was the brush head or the wand head. Not my favorite kind, but with the way that this formula held on my lashes, I may be able to forgive that. Stay tuned to see what mascara I try on tomorrow. We are on day 3. Today I will be testing the Volumizing mascara. as we go in to apply this mascara. The wand here is very thin, more of a narrow brush head rather than one of the thicker, fatter brush heads that I typically prefer. So as I wiggle, first impression upon applying the formula is dry. So I don't know if that has to do with the sample size, but the formula is rather dry. But I do find with a drier formula, it will hold a curl. So maybe that will be its claim to fame. Okay, so I will do a second coat. So there you have it with the 2 coats of Mally Volumizing Mascara. So as I come in close, you can see I still have a curl on my lash. So that is nice about this mascara. Volumizing, I think it did a pretty good job. So we will see how it wears throughout the day. Here we are with the update on the Mally Volumizing Mascara. The mascara has done pretty well throughout the day. Like I said, it was dry to apply, but it settled on okay. The curl, I would say, is about the same as the previous other 2 mascaras. It's a little more crunchy to the feel, but I'm not experiencing any little flakes underneath my eyes, and my eyes are not irritated at all. I would say overall I would probably give this mascara a 7 out of 10. Just lowering the rank a little bit because of the slight crunchy feel I've got on my eyelashes right now. So stay tuned and we will check out the next one. Hello, now we are on day 4. Today's mascara is the Blinc Mascara Amplified. So this is that mascara that creates little tubes around each lash. I've tried this one before. It's a little strange because you go to remove the mascara and little tubes come off, and it looks like it's your lashes that came off in your hands or on your fingers. It's not. It is just the little tube that forms around the individual lashes, and then it just slides off when you're done. So I've already curled my lashes. I'm just going to apply. This wand, the brush, is the style that I like with the natural type fibers rather than the plastic, and it's pretty decent in thickness to apply along the entire length. I'm not getting much put on my lashes. I've been wiggling along the length for a few swipes, and there's really not much applying. You can see this is the lash I've been working on. This is the naked lash. Not much of a difference. I will dip in again. Okay, so this mascara took quite a bit longer to build up, but it does look like it is holding a curl very well. The formula is dry. We will see how it wears throughout the day, and I will check in later. Hi, here we are with update number 4 on the Blinc Amplified Mascara. So this wore pretty well throughout the day. If I come in close, you can see there are no particles underneath my eye. It wore really well. The feel is pretty soft. It also has a nice curl still left on the lash after wearing for the entire day. It was very hot out here. So it held up well. I would say this probably has the most natural curl out of all of the other lashes that held up throughout the day. All in all, I would say this mascara held up wonderfully, and I would give it a 8 8.5 out of 10. It did really well, especially for keeping such a nice natural curl throughout the day. It doesn't quite have a 9 or a 10 rating because of its difficulty to apply. It took a little bit longer to apply and it was rather dry, but the dryness I think helped to keep the curl throughout the day. So on to the next. For day 5, I've got the Lancome Hypnose Drama Mascara. So lashes are already curled. Here we go. So it does have that cool S-shaped brush. So from the initial application, it is a much more wet formula than the others. Wow, and look how that is going on. I will definitely have to comb it out. Whoa, this is intense. Wow, look at that. So definitely a ton of product goes on as soon as you apply it to your lashes. I'm so used to working with a more dry formula that I keep swiping, swiping, swiping. I barely have to even wiggle it, and that stuff is on. I'm not even going to re-dip. I'm just going to take off some of the extra product that's on the tip, and I'm going to swipe through one more time, hopefully brush out some of these clumps. Okay, so this is what can become an issue with super volumizing formulas. As I'm now applying a second coat onto this right side, it is straightening the lash. You can see how this side is starting to straighten and give kind of just a fanned out brush look. And then this side is still holding that initial curl. I think what I'm going to do is wear it uneven like this, where the right side will have the 2 coats and then the left will have just the initial single coat, and see how it wears throughout the day. So you can see here, single coat and then a double coat. We will see which wears better throughout the day, and that was the fastest to apply out of all of the rest. So I do appreciate that. If I need a quick application, so far, initial impression, I'm liking this one. Hi, and I'm here for the check-in on the Lancome mascara. It wore really well today. You can see a difference between my lash that has just the single coat compared to my lash that has the double coat. There's a major difference. I do like the look of the double coat, of course. So I think in the future, when I use this again, I will absolutely apply 2 coats. The texture on my lashes right now is pretty soft. This one feels almost non-existent, but I was kind of messing with my eyes earlier, so I think some of this side flaked off. This one, it's a little bit stiff to the touch, but nothing that's too bad and causing a huge amount of flakes under my eye. There were a couple flakes when I went in for a close look on my mirror, but nothing too bad. Overall, this formula really surprised me with the amount of volume that it gave me right away. The curl is okay. It's more of a pushed up brush look than an actual rounded look, but my eyelashes did not droop down, which can sometimes be the case. So I would say this is doing pretty well. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Pushing close to my absolute favorite, the BTS mascara. So we'll see. Maybe this is a real contender. Today I'm trying the Younique Moodstruck Fiber Lashes. Comes in a nice little carrying case. And then I've got the transplanting gel and the fibers. This retails for $29, the most expensive of all the mascaras I'm trying. So we will see how it works. The directions say that first you apply the gel, then immediately follow with the fibers, and then finally you lock it all in again with the gel. I've already curled, so let's give it a go. As I'm applying the gel, it is a nice kind of hourglass shape on the brush. So it is one of my preferred type of brush heads. And I'm just going to apply that to the length of my lash. So from the initial impression, the gel on its own is not a bad mascara. So there we go, it's all applied. And it says immediately apply the fibers. Wow. So this applies like you're placing little pieces of powder. Certainly gives me a lot of volume. That's obvious from one lash to the other. I guess I will lock this in now with the gel. There you can see I've applied the mascara to one lash. And nothing so far on my other lash. Let's even this out. These fibers remind me almost like little pieces of lint or something that you would kind of find on your clothes. So I think I have thoroughly applied the fibers as I come in here close. And now let's lock it in with the gel. I'm going over top as well to make sure there's no loose fibers that might fall from my lashes and get into my eyes. There it is applied. I'll just brush this out a little bit to separate. I probably should have separated. There we go, while it was still tacky. So there's the final application as I come in close. I'm going to pull in close so you can see what the fibers look like on my eye. I thought that I had sealed it all in with the gel, but I took a little closer look and there are still some fibers floating on my lashes and then also underneath on my cheeks. I'm going to come in and you can see some of the little fibers still floating around and then also on my cheek. I'm going to reapply some more of the gel because I do not want that stuff falling into my eyes throughout the day and causing havoc on my already sensitive contact wearing eyeballs. I think I've locked it in. I still see fibers that I don't know if that is, if those are loose fibers that are just sitting on my eyes or if they are actually fibers that will be problematic and will fall onto my contacts. So initial impression after applying both the gel and the fibers, I would say it is holding a really nice curl and the volume is excellent. So far so good. My only hesitation is how the fibers last on my lashes. So we will see as I wear this throughout the day. Okay, here's my check-in for the Younique mascara. I have worn this all day and my eyes are a little bit tired right now. The curl is still held up pretty well. To touch, it is the most crunchy or stiff by the end of the day. The volume did stay, so the formula stayed on the eye all day, practically the same as when I applied it. So you can see up close, I still have quite a bit of volume. My final thoughts on this mascara is I would rate it a 5.5 out of 10. As I come in close and I was inspecting, there are little fibers all over my eyelids and different areas on my face. So that is worrisome as far as what is in my mouth or what I maybe ate today, as far as the little fibers, and also what I will find on my contacts when I take them out. It did hold up well. The formula was very strong to keep the initial look and curl, but the fact that it was a 3-step process to apply the gel, then the fibers, then lock in the fibers with the gel was rather burdensome for a mascara. And then I've got fibers now all over my face. So that is not appealing for me because of now the hassle that I will have of either trying to clean off my contacts or having to replace my contacts. All in all, I would just give this a 5 out of 5. It's not terrible, but it was not my favorite of the previous mascaras that I have in my collection. So, on to the next one. Okay, now follow up after I have taken off that mascara. I need to change the score I gave it to a 1. It was super irritating to my eyes to take it off. You can see my eyes are pretty red right now around the lashes just because of how difficult it was to get off. I had to use a few cotton balls of, or a few of the cotton swabs with the makeup remover to get all of it off. And then as I would wipe my cheeks and under my eye, there were just fibers everywhere. So I absolutely do not recommend that mascara. The fibers just go all over the place. And it could have been from my initial application this morning, but for there to be that much fallout of product, especially something that is so irritating and then to be extra irritating to take off, I do not like it. I think it is dangerous and I don't think anybody should use that. So I'm going to put on some eye cream and hopefully the redness and everything will go away. We are on day 7 for the Lash Stash try-on. Today I am going to try out Urban Decay's Perversion mascara. This retails for $24 and there's a mini version for $11. So I've already curled, let's apply. This brush, it's a nice natural looking brush head, which I like and prefer. So just looking at the nice densely packed bristles, I will apply it to my lash. So upon initial application, this formula is a little thinner than some of the other formulas I have tried, giving a nice natural coat for the first layer. So there is the first coat. On to our second. Here we are with 2 coats applied to my lashes. As I come in close, you can see this has a pretty natural looking formula. The formula was not quite as volumizing as some of the previous mascaras, but I do think it held a nice curl and also gave nice length to my lashes. So I like that. I will wear this for the rest of the day. It is actually raining right now, so we will see how see if it lasts through the rain if I need to go outside or if I'm able to just hunker down around the house to let this do its job. Here's my check-in for the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. I thought this mascara was a nice formula. It was a very natural formula, soft to the touch. I would say it did a pretty good job at lengthening my lashes, but the volume, it was not the greatest. So this would be more of a natural look instead of something where there's a lot of volume. But who are we kidding? Mascara is all about lengthening, volumizing, and completely enhancing what you've already got. So while it does provide a natural lash, I would give this a solid 7 out of 10. Has a nice natural look, good lengthening appeal, but not as volumizing as I would like it to be. On to tomorrow. Today's mascara will be the Tarte Lights Camera Splashes mascara. And this is the waterproof formula. It does have a very skinny wand. So we will see how that applies. It should be good for lengthening. We will see how it does for volumizing. I'm in the midst of filming an all purple makeup video. So initial impression, this mascara is very wet to apply. So here we are after 2 coats. I think it's doing well. It's holding a curl very nicely, which usually tends to happen with a waterproof mascara. They usually dry faster than regular mascara. So I'll check in later to let you know how it wears throughout the day. Here's the check-in for the Lights Camera Lashes mascara, the waterproof mascara from Tarte. Overall, the mascara wore pretty well. There are no flakes in between. The problem I'm finding with this mascara is it still feels a little tacky to the touch, which is odd for a waterproof mascara. I'm wondering if the heat and humidity of South Florida is not a great combination for this waterproof formula. As I come in close, you can see that the edges are rather clumpy and that seem to have worn on and gotten worse throughout the day. I would probably give this mascara an overall rating of about a 5.5. Not the greatest just because of how it wore and clumped throughout the day, and also my eyelashes are just slightly tacky. They don't feel wet, but they're also not soft or crunchy, more almost putty-like when I touch them. So it's an okay formula. We will see how easy it is to get this off my eyes now after wearing throughout the day. But like I said, I'd give it about a 5.5. It did hold a nice curl, but the tacky kind of sticky feeling and the clumping was not ideal after a day of wear. So we'll check in tomorrow with my next mascara. We are on now to the next day, and I'm doing the Marc Jacob mascara. This is the Velvet Noir Volume Mascara. I've already curled my lashes, so let's see how it goes. So from the initial impression, this has a little thinner hourglass brush. So let's see how big it can make my lashes. I'm already curled, and on we go. Well, so far, so amazing. You can see from just the first few strokes, this is volumizing like none other. So there's just the first few strokes on my eyes. So just from that initial application, I think the volume is amazing and the length is staying super strong. I'm going to go in with a second coat. I have high expectations for the price. It better. I had some major fall vibes going on today. I think because it's so hot out, I am wishing and hoping for a slight breeze. But honestly, there's never a fall down here in Florida. Okay, as far as volume, this is giving a similar volume effect like the Fiber Lash from Younique, but without the terrible fibers. The only thing I'm seeing right now is that it is straightening or flaring my lashes a little bit. But this volume and length is incredible. Okay, so here's the Marc Jacobs. I am loving the volume and length that I've got. The curl leaves a little something to be desired, but for the overall pretty much false lash effect, I really like it. I will check in later to let you know how it wears throughout the day. Here I am for my check-in with the Marc Jacobs mascara. So throughout the day, the volume and length held strong. The only issue is that it is a little stiff to touch. So my eyelashes are a bit crunchy. There are some particles on my cheek. You can see probably from the formula being a little more stiff and then brittle. So it kind of flaked onto my cheek. But the volume and length held strong. I would give this mascara a rating of an 8 out of 10. Volume and length were great, held throughout the day. But the stiffness and then the particles left on my cheek were not the best, so the ranking went down a bit. I will be back tomorrow to test another mascara. Okay, we are on to our next mascara. And this one is the Doucce Punk Volumizer Mascara. I received this in one of my Ipsy boxes. The problem I find with Ipsy and Birchbox sometimes is I will get products that I can only either purchase directly from the brand website or from Birchbox or Ipsy themselves. I typically like to purchase from either Sephora, Ulta, or even Target, because then I can physically go get the item rather than have to go online, pay for shipping and all of that. So that's the downfall of subscription boxes are like Ipsy and Birchbox, is that if there's a product that they have and I really like, I have to go online to purchase it and then pay for the shipping, which typically deters me from purchasing that product. And so I will just try to find something else that I really like. There's only been one product that I actually purchased online, and that was the Vasanti Enzymatic Face Rejuvenator. And that, I absolutely loved that scrub. So I was willing to go on to Birchbox to purchase it, but that's just my offshoot on subscription boxes and why I do have Sephora Play as my favorite, because everything I get in that subscription box, I could go into Sephora and purchase immediately. So as we continue, I will apply the mascara, let me curl. Okay, so this brush is huge. I don't know how it would work for people that don't have extremely long eyelashes, because just looking at it right now, I know my eyelids are going to be a mess. So we'll see how it works. I'm trying to be really careful if I do go above my lash to try and ensure I don't mark up my eyelid a bunch. The formula right now is pretty good. Not extremely volumizing, but it's holding an okay curl. I'm noticing that this is drying rather quickly as I'm now applying the second coat, which is allowing it to create a little more volume on the lash. So here we are. As I come in closer, this is 2 coats of the Doucce mascara. I will wear this throughout the day and of course check in later. And here we are for the check-in on the Doucce, still don't know how to say the name, mascara. Throughout the day, I think this wore really well. You can see the volume's pretty decent and length held up. There are just a couple flakes on my cheek, but nothing too major. All in all, I'd say this is probably a solid 8 mascara. The downside is that it is only available online. Therefore, I will likely never purchase this in person for myself, because there are comparable mascaras that I can get at Ulta or Sephora. Therefore, I'm not going to go out of my way or pay the shipping to have this sent to me from a brand I don't really know. Like I said, about an 8 out of 10. Good mascara, decent volume, held up well for length and a curl. My lashes are nice and soft to the touch, so good job. And let's see what I will be wearing tomorrow. Today I'm doing the MAC False Lashes, the waterproof formula. So this retails for $24 on the MAC website. And I will show the brush head. So the bristles are tight. It's a smaller head with some very dense bristles. And like I said, this is the waterproof formula, so it should hold a curl very well. My lashes are already curled, so here we go. First impression, the formula is very dry to apply. I'm hoping for good things then for the curl on my lash, because usually with a drier formula and also a waterproof formula, it will typically hold my eyelash curl the best. And just looking in my mirror, it does seem to be holding a strong curl. Now going in for that second coat and doing my little signature twirl and flick to get the tips. Okay, so here we are with the 2 coats. I think that actually having the smaller brush head was beneficial to prevent any mascara from getting onto my eyelid, and the curl is as if I just curled my lashes. When I come in close, you can see how nice my lash is still holding. Great first impression. We will see how this mascara wears throughout the rest of the day, and I will check in later. So here we go for the MAC mascara check-in. The mascara I thought was stellar. I would give this a 9 out of 10. It is not the most volumizing mascara, but it held an amazing curl throughout the day. The length was on point. My eyelashes were definitely lengthened. The curl stayed from the very initial curl that I gave them. There wasn't any flaring or straightening. The mascara has probably been on my eyes for about 14 hours. I'd say that's pretty darn good for mascara. There's no flaking or fallout. And it is actually a very soft to the touch waterproof mascara. So I really like this. I would give it a 9 out of 10. It is definitely a strong contender for a favorite. This is actually what I wear most of the time if I'm going to be outside a lot or going to the beach, because it does hold up very well and it's comfortable on the eyes. So stay and we will see what I try tomorrow. This mascara today I'm trying is the Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. Everything I've heard and read about this mascara is that it is just like the Too Faced Better Than Sex, but at a fraction of the price. I picked this up at Target for only $8.99. So compared to the full price of the Too Faced, which I believe is $24, I have never tried Lash Paradise, so I'm looking forward to trying it right now. So brand new tube, fresh from the box. And it looks just like the Too Faced. I'll open it up to check out the wand. And it does have that hourglass shaped brush. I might have to do a full comparison of Lash Paradise versus Too Faced. As I pull it out, brand new tube, there's quite a bit of product on the brush head. So that is good. I'm going to curl my lashes really quick and then we will apply. So here's to the first coat. Okay, so from that initial coat that I have on my eye, the curl is holding up well. Maybe just a little bit of flaring, but overall things are looking good. So on to the second coat. This mascara does build from the first coat. Now as I'm applying the second, I can see the volume is increasing and so is the length. The curl is straightening a little bit, but still there's a curl on the lash to where it's looking lifted. It dries a little between coats, so I think that's helping to add the volume. Okay, so there are 2 full coats of the Lash Paradise on my eyes. I think everything looks really nice. So I'll wear this today and check in later. And now for the check-in on the Lash Paradise mascara. This mascara wore really well throughout the day. I have little to no fallout on my cheeks. The formula held a decent volume and curl throughout the day. The only issue that I'm finding is that my eyelashes are rather crunchy or stiff. But all in all, I thought the mascara wore really nice. I would give this an 8 out of 10. The volume, length, and curl that was maintained was very nice, but the crunchiness is not very comfortable to feel, so it knocked the overall rating down a little bit to an 8 instead of something like an 8.5 or a 9. So stay tuned, and I will be on to one more mascara. Okay, we are on the last mascara. I didn't think this review would be complete without going back to my HG product from back in the day. I think I wore this through college, if not starting back in high school. And it is the Maybelline Falsies mascara. I loved this mascara. I wore it in the waterproof formula, which I'm not a huge fan of waterproof anymore. So I got just the normal formula and I picked this up, of course, at my favorite store, TJ Maxx. It was only $4.99 and it came with an eyebrow pencil. So I was pretty excited to see it and knew that it had to be part of my lash stash review. And so let's get into it and see if this mascara is still one of my favorites. The classic purple tube. And I pull out, it has that curved wand. Something that's different from the other mascaras is it has this little bend or little notch that allows the wand to bend as you apply it. So I think that lets you really coat your lashes in product. And I'm ready to go. Okay, so from that first coat that I just put on, I think that the mascara is holding really well. The curl is straightening just a little bit as I look in my mirror, but the volume is amazing. The lengthening is great. This is still a really great product and will probably be back in rotation as one of my favorites. I do like the way that the brush, when I'm applying, it has a little bit of give to give that extra little split second to keep the brush on your lash and let you apply a little more product. So onto my second coat. So there we go. I think that this formula is still amazing. Now that it's applied, it does have that Falsies look. Very voluminous, very lengthening. My lashes did straighten a little bit, but there is still an upward curve on them. So I think this is going to be back in rotation. I really love the products, the formula, everything. Probably with a waterproof formula, my lashes would hold the curl a little more initially because it dries so quickly. But this was starting to dry as I was finishing up the second coat. So I think that this curve and curl will stay on for the long run. So I will check in later and let you know how this wears. Okay, I want to do a quick check-in. I've been wearing this mascara for about 8 hours now, and I am really liking how everything stays voluminous with the length and all of that. So everything's good. I'm getting ready to go to the Janet Jackson concert, so I don't know if I'll be able to check in later, but hopefully I will, to let you know how this performs after a night out. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing. There are no flakes underneath. A little cameo from the dog. And volume, length are still holding up. The curl did straighten a bit, but it still has an upward lift, and overall, I think I would give this about an 8.5. We'll see if that changes after the concert, so I will hopefully check in later. Now we've finished the lash stash. So this is post-concert. I have about 4 layers of mascara on right now, and everything just held out amazing. The volume, length, curl, everything was stellar. So I'm changing that score. It's now a 9. Way to go. Okay, so we have now finished the entire lash stash try-on. This actually took about a month in real time. I went through 13 mascaras in total, and by doing them with an application and then an all-day wear and check-in, each one took at least a day, and then after doing the Younique fiber lash, I had to take a couple days off to let my eyes heal. Today I want to do a quick recap of all the mascaras that I tried and then give you my top ones from my entire collection. First one I did was, of course, my HG, my holy grail, and that was the Too Faced Better Than Sex. This still came out number 1. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I'm always searching for that number 10. I don't know if that's achievable, but this thing is pretty darn close. So number 2 mascara. The Buxom Lash Mascara retails for $20, and that had an 8.5 out of 10. It was a great mascara, held up well with volume, the length, everything. The one downside I had for it was the wand head. I do not like those plastic wand heads with the short kind of silicone little bristles on them. Just not my favorite, so I knocked that one down just a little. The third mascara was the Mally Volumizing Mascara. Retails for $20. I gave that a 7. Not a bad mascara, not my favorite. It was just okay. Number 4 mascara was the Blinc Mascara Amplified. It retails for $26. That was an 8.5 out of 10. I really liked the overall formula, the look, how my lashes, they did stay curled by the end of the day. The only downside with that mascara was that it took a really long time to apply. Number 5 mascara was the Hypnose Drama from Lancome. That one retails for $27.50, and I gave that a 9. So this mascara was actually pretty amazing. I thought that the formula, it was a little bit wet to apply, but the volume was amazing. It was the most volumizing formula of all the mascaras. This is kind of like one of those super special occasions, maybe for recital, for a performance, for a special night out, and you really want that wow factor. I would strongly recommend that Lancome Hypnose Drama. It's going to make your eyelashes huge. I personally thought it was great. Number 6. This one I hated. It was the Younique Struck Fiber Lashes. That one retails for $29. It was the most expensive mascara of my entire collection. It was awful. those fibers went everywhere, went onto my contacts, and then like when you wear the mascara and you apply the gel, all of that, your lashes are super volumized. They have a nice length, the curl is held, everything looks really good. Downside, there are flakes all over your cheeks. I got a little bit in my eyes. What really turned things for me was when I had to take that stuff off. And it was so irritating to my eyes. I was totally red. Everything was just itchy and uncomfortable. It took quite a few little cotton swabs to remove everything, and I just had fibers and material all over my face. Do not recommend that mascara. I had to take a break from wearing any eye makeup for a couple days just to make sure everything healed and all the irritation calmed down. Absolutely do not like that mascara. I threw it away the next day, so I don't even have it to lift up and show. So Younique fiber mascara, terrible. Get out of here. Go away. So number 7 was the Urban Decay Perversion mascara that retails for $24, and I gave that a 7 out of 10. The mascara overall was nice for lengthening and did maintain a curl. The downside I felt was that it was not volumizing. So I did not get that great big lash look at the end of the day. More of a natural look, I would recommend that mascara, but I really enjoy more of a volumizing mascara. That's why most of my mascaras that I have are a volumizing formula. For a more natural look, I would recommend the Urban Decay Perversion. Number 8 was the Tarte Lights Camera Splashes mascara, and that's the waterproof formula for the Lights Camera lashes. That retails for $23, and I gave it a 5.5. I did not like the way that formula wore at the end of the day. It did okay on initial application, but once I was ready to take it off and I was kind of feeling my lashes, it was very tacky and still felt like putty, which was odd. And I just don't think that that formula works well in the humid climate of South Florida. Number 9, I have the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Volumizing Mascara. For $26, I gave it an 8. I thought it performed well. The overall look was nice, but it didn't do any better than the Lancome or Too Faced Better Than Sex. It was nice, but I would say not quite worth the money for what you could get in another formula. Number 10, I have the Doucce Punk Volumizer Mascara. This retails for $24. I gave it an 8. I thought it did really well. It gave me nice volume, a decent curl, and good length. The downside with this one was that unless it's really gonna knock my socks off, it's only available to me online. So the only way I can get it is to order it online from either the Doucce Cosmetics website or from Ipsy. I think I saw it on Amazon as well. So the downside with doing that is that I have to pay for shipping. I am not going to do that unless it is something that absolutely blows me away. I thought this did well, but it did not blow me away. So it got marked down about a 0.5 point from an 8.5 to an 8 because I'm just not going to purchase it unless it is just a wow mascara. So 11 was the MAC False Lash Mascara, and that's the waterproof formula. I thought this did really well. For $24, I gave it a 9. It held a nice curl, good length, and decent volume. Was not the most volumizing, but it kept the natural curl. It didn't flare out. It kept a nice, pretty curl throughout the entire day. By the end of the day, when I was taking it off, my eyelashes were not crunchy. They were not flaking onto my cheeks. It just gave a nice, comfortable feel. I would strongly, strongly recommend this MAC mascara for any time you are going to do an outdoor activity and you want that waterproof formula. So I used to always wear waterproof. I've switched to just regular mascara because I'm not crazy about taking off waterproof mascara, but this could be a daily or just when you need the waterproof formula. Highly recommend the MAC False Lash Mascara. Number 12. That was the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. And I bought this one specifically for this Lash Stash try-on because of all of the rave and talk about how it was a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex. In my opinion, it's not. Too Faced Better Than Sex is its own mascara, its own category. It's amazing. The L'Oreal was good. I would say it's $8.99, so it's a drugstore mascara. $8.99, $9.99, depending on where you buy it. So it's under $10, and I think it was an 8 mascara. It gave nice volume, nice length, nice curl, but I would not compare it as a straight dupe for the BTS. For $8.99, I'll give that an 8. Solid mascara, drugstore mascara, wears well, good volume. The downside for me was that it was a little crunchy by the end of the day, which gets to be uncomfortable. I start messing with my lashes and just it flakes all over the place. The number 13 mascara was the Maybelline Falsies mascara. So this is the Falsies Volume Express. This one, I would say, this gives you the most bang for your buck. This was my HG, my holy grail, absolute favorite through high school and college, and it's still amazing. I've been noticing a lot of commercials lately for the Maybelline Falsies mascara, so I think they are trying to bring it back as one of their number one mascaras. It's just held the test of time. It's amazing formula. It has awesome volume. My curl, I'm wearing it today actually. So I've got 2 coats of it on today. I think that it, all around, this is the number one mascara. Great price because I got mine for $4.99. It retails like at Target for $5.49 and then at Ulta for $6.99. So it's not very expensive for a mascara and it has a great payoff. The BTS is my personal number one, but it's expensive, $24, and that's about 4 times as much as this one. So if you're going for dollar per dollar, you go with this. It's an amazing formula. You can't go wrong. Highly recommend it. With these 4, I think it would be, you can't go wrong with any of them. If you want to splurge a little more, go for the Better Than Sex, the Lancome, or the MAC. But if you really want to bargain shopping, great formula, the Falsies. The regular formula or the waterproof formula, I don't think it can steer you wrong. The waterproof formula will keep a nice curl on your lash. Thank you for staying with me. I will have timestamps down below. I know this is a long video and there might be some parts that you don't want to see or some mascaras that you don't really care to see. I will have the timestamps listed below so you can jump right to the specific mascara that you want to see. Thank you for watching and going with me on this journey. This was my most in-depth video that I've done. Let me know if you would like me to do another one. But give me suggestions if you would like me to do something else like this where I review different formulas of a single product and give you my thoughts and opinion, how they wore on me throughout the day. And I will definitely take that into consideration to create something new for you. So once again, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.